Hi, I'm Armida Ascano, the Chief Insights Officer at Trend Hunter. Since joining the team in 2010, I've worked a number of roles, but today my role focuses in on finding the grand narrative according to those macro topics that we get so much interest in, like what I'm going to talk about today, microgenerations. Now, what we know about generations today is mostly based on stereotypes, like Gen Z is millennial light, millennials are just a bunch of narcissists who use too much social media, nobody ever thinks about Generation X, and boomers are just retired old hippies. But of course, there is so much more to the picture than that. That's what we're looking to dive into through the course. Obviously, all of that is just the tip of the iceberg. So to dive a little deeper, we decided to look at the origins of each of the generations as we know them. Turns out, boomers were first profiled in 1977 in the Washington Post. Gen X in 1965, even before that. Millennials in 1989, when the majority of that generation were toddlers, and Gen Z in 2012, which may seem recent, but that generation is already outgrowing that definition. The point here is that all of these generations are more than what they seem to be. So at Trend Hunter, we decided to look a little bit deeper into the background of each of these generations. Various factors like global population as well as North American population, percentage of people of color within North America, within each generation, etc., etc. And we found some really interesting statistics. Like, for example, we know that millennials are the largest generation in the US, but Gen Z is the largest generation globally by far. We know that boomers actually have the largest female demographic in North America, and Gen X was in fact the first generation to use the internet for fun. Now, where it became more interesting were the cross-sections. Younger Gen Z and older boomers are actually using the same devices, and it's older Gen X and mid-millennials who identify as the least happy generations. So taking this all into account, I think we can agree that referring to each generation homogenously is just oversimplifying. This is where those microgenerations come into play. We split each of the generations into about 9 across the board. Those microgenerations are the leading boomer, the neo-boomer, Gen XS and Gen Xenos, the nouveau, mid, and pro-millennial, and Z-Tribe and Z-Alpha. This is who you're going to meet over the duration of this course.